So guys, I'm going to show you today how to put an HMF exhaust full system on a 05 through 23 Kawasaki brute force. This should work for most single systems, especially just taking the plastics off. So you got 4 12 millimeter bolts here for the rack and 2 on the sides. This one and this one right here underneath, they're 10 millimeter, pretty easy to take out. And you got to take this off right here with 1, 2, 3, 4 on both sides, 8 Phillips screwdriver or 8 Phillips heads. So you pull them out, and that's the big start of it. Also underneath, something to remember to do, I'm gonna go ahead and show you, but where your exhaust manifold, right here on these bolts, put just a little bit of PB Blaster on them. Okay, so you don't want to mess those up. There's 2 on the front and then 2 on the rear. Underneath, you'll be able to see it. Just follow your exhaust manifold back. Spray just a little bit of PB Blaster on before you take those off, because you don't want to hurt those. So it's just something else that I was going to tell you to do. You guys will want to take this off. There's 3 Phillips screw heads holding it on here. One right here, one right there, and one in my hand right here. This thing will pop off also. Yeah. You get all your bolts off. Do not lose them. Put them in this thing right here and just set it to the side. That way you know where they are. I would say one of the biggest problems with doing this is losing screws and everything. So when you get done taking this box off here, this right here is all connected. Just look for a couple extra screws in this area. This piece will pop off, and just make sure that you put your screws up. Pop your air box off to get this right here to come off after you loosen this up. Okay, be easy with this. Don't be jerking on it hard. Just work it loose and it'll pop right off. So I have 2 I think 12 millimeter bolts right here and right here also. After you get the seat off, to pop those off, to also get to the back taking it off. Now it should. Yep, see how it's wanting to pop off? Can't hold the phone and do it together, but this thing right here will just pop right off and you'll get the back of it off. This is a side piece right here. You will want to pop this off first to get to the back. Here's the back of it off. So you just gotta be careful taking that plastic off. Don't get real herky-jerky with it. So, got this piece right here that we're gonna pop off. Got to take this off here to get to it. So, get to it and then keep filming. See an extra bolt or something, I'll let you know. I apologize, you do not have to take this piece off. So after you're from here, you're good to go. So don't forget to put a little PB Blaster on these bolts here, your 2 head bolts up here, your 2 head bolts back here. Be very, very careful with them, because you do not want to break these off. So, you know, that's the reason why I say put PB Blaster on them, because those are the bolts of the heads. Really, out of this whole deal, that's your most important thing to do, is take your time and just work those loose, and you should be good to go. Okay. You guys will be putting on, most likely, you know, a full system HMF programmer. If you have a 3/4 HMF system, I know that you can just, you know, use your loop system that comes with a 2015 to 2023. Your stock ECU will run it. If you go with the full system like I did, it will push it past being a little bit too lean. So the HMF optimizer that comes with it, you know, you'll unhook this, take this out, because you can see over here, these systems do not have the sensor in it. So that's really, really nice. Love that, that they don't, because that can be a pain. So taking the rear head bolts off now, they're a 12 and they are on very, very, you know, light. You know, when you go and you take these off or put them back on, the most is 25 torque spec. So it's important to know you know, when you put it back on, as long as you're around 25, that's important, but you definitely don't want to do it too much to where it comes off. So for the front head bolts underneath here, what I would do is I would just go ahead and take this tire off, get out of your way, jack it up, and you'll be able to get right in there. Got in here and took the head bolts loose. There's two of them. They're quite easy to get out. If you ever have to change your spark plug, there's the front one. Pretty simple. I think it's a 16. Then on the back side here, we took this loose. I think these are 14, so just popped it loose. And took the rears off too. Those are 14s or 12s. One of the two. They're 14 or 12. 12s right there. Quite simple. Then this thing is ready to pop out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the header and the rear exhaust loose right here. 12. You need a 12 socket and then a wrench. That'll pop this loose after we get done with it here. Come back. So we got them off. The one on the back here can be a little bit, you know, of a pain, but if you've got a little smaller air socket here, but something that's just, you know, like 40 torque, you know, nothing that's real strong, you can put it on the back side here and just hold your finger on it, on the nut on the back side, and it should pop off. Something else just to tell you that I would do is before you put your old exhaust on, take your gaskets off the old pipe and they'll fit right on your HMF and you'll be good to go that way too. Put your little PB blaster on them. This is the HMF. I'll show you right here. Slide it up on there. Boom, you're good to go. Getting this header pipe in, okay, can be a little bit of a pain sometimes, but it's nothing like a dual empire. So you just really just got to work it, you know, to your flavor, okay, to get it in here. I've done this a couple times. You just got to take your time. There's really not one way that works all the time. Basically, you're trying to get it. When you get it in there, you're going to turn this, and you just have to work it a little bit to where this will line up with the holes and get it in. It's a job that, you know, is if you haven't done it before, I'm not going to say it's easy, but you know, it just takes a little bit of time to wiggle it in there and get it up on there. So we'll come back in a second. Header piece in is you're going to take it through like this, okay, and then you're going to turn it, okay. It's going to go underneath your radiator hose and these bars, okay. When you turn it, boom, it'll pop right back up to it. Press it. So that went right up there. Remember to use I would just use your stock gaskets that come off of your stock exhaust, and then these bolts, I would put a little grease on the threads, and then I would just simply use your hand to tighten them up to a point. And then, like I said before, I would not get crazy tightening these things down. They came off extremely easy. You don't want to go over 25, you know, so guys get really crazy tightening these bolts down. I would not do it. It's a 14 millimeter bolt, and you know, if you have an exhaust leak, you'll know it, but if you have that gasket on there, it'll be fine. I would not tighten it down more than 25 or 30 torque. So we got the back piece on, piece that goes into the header pipe. So I just put just a little bit of grease just right there around it. It might smoke just a hair when you first turn it on. And then what I would do in lining this thing up, if you have two people to hold it, it's a little bit easier, but you want to line those holes up first with this pipe here, and then come over here to this pipe and line this up with this and just wiggle it back and forth on there, and it'll pop right up there. So got the head bolts back on and the rear bolts. So I would One thing I would just do is get a torque wrench, torque those down at 25, and then from there you'll tighten these up. Pretty simple. I think there's another one right there. So last thing we got to do is hook this back up right here and good to go. So we got it together. I just put this little thing back on here. Probably shouldn't have done that for the video, but got your HMF tuner. Okay, if you guys are wondering where this pops in, so you got your air box, air intake here, and it pops in right here. Okay, so they'll connect into the old fuel injector line. Okay, and then we tried to fix to where your engine light wouldn't come on with the old O2 sensor, but Rev Cycles has one where it'll kick the engine light off. You just go online, they're about $20. You can buy one and it'll kick it off. So we'll start it up here in a second after we get it all together, but it's really not too hard to put on if you just take your time. We did have a little bit of smoking coming out. I think it was more grease than anything off of the head bolts down here, so we just tighten them up a little bit more. But if you take your time, you can definitely put it together. So you should see 2 to 3 horsepower gain on it. So not bad on a machine that weighs 700 pounds.